Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about how much are you actually pre-approved for. So this is something I hear a lot. Now, before we start, in case you're new to the channel, I am a mortgage lender licensed in 48 states. Yeah, I want to help you with your mortgage. That's why I have like 2,000 videos about mortgages. But I also want you guys to be educated and empowered so that buying a house is a good process. I always say buying a house should be a benefit, not a burden. So let's talk about this. So I'll hear from someone, I've got 3 pre-approvals from different lenders and they're all for different amounts. What am I actually qualified for? Okay, a couple of things you need to know. There is no consistency in the mortgage industry for what a pre-approval is or how to do it. Zero consistency, okay? So let's say you fill out your application with 2 companies, company 1 and company 2, and you fill out the application for $250,000. I'm going to pretend that I'm company 1, okay? So if you fill out your application for $250,000, we're going to get that application. We're going to ask you, hey, is $250,000 what you're hoping for? You're going to say, yeah, or maybe you're going to say more. And we're going to underwrite to that number, okay? And sometimes we'll say, hey, like what payment are you hoping for? And then we'll underwrite to that number. Let's say company 2, you apply, you ask for $250,000, and suddenly you have a pre-approval for $350,000. Oh my God, that's so great, right? Maybe not. So what company 2 could be doing is they could be max qualifying you. So max qualifying is when a lender looks at your file and they go, how much money could they possibly get, right? And whenever people say to me, I want my max, I always say, no, you don't. And I'll spend 10 minutes telling them why they don't. And I do have a video on that, so I'm going to link it just, to keep this short. But you don't want to be max qualified. The problem you have as a buyer, though, is you don't know most of the time. You don't know if you're max qualified. Lenders aren't talking to people about this stuff, and it's super important. So I'm going to tell you the questions to ask. So first, let's just go back here. So let's say that you wanted $250,000. You tell me, Jen, I'm looking at $250,000, and I'll go, great. I would fully underwrite you at $250,000. After you're fully underwritten, that's when we get on the phone. Now, a lot of times people go, well, wait a second. What if I want to go higher? Yeah, that's easy, guys. We look at it. So let's say your debt to income's totally fine. And if you say, Jen, what about $25,000 or $50,000? I can easily push it up as long as it's within the realm. And as long as you're comfortable with the payment. Now, if we go up higher, then you go, actually, Jen, I just want $200,000. Is that a problem? No. Okay. So I look at a pre-approval as what's the baseline? And then we're going to toggle up and down. Okay. Whereas over here, they're not going with the baseline. They're just going up here. Very, very risky. Okay. So you're going to ask the lender, hey, am I max qualified? Okay. That's your first question. If they say, yeah, we can't go any higher, be afraid. Be very, very afraid. You do not want to be max qualified. As a lender, we have the ability to put you guys to a position where you can barely afford food. It's dark. It's not pretty. It's not good. There's a reason I don't do it. And it's because I want my buyers to be happy and I don't want them to be calling me not being able to eat in a month, which you can do when you max qualify buyers. Okay. So number 1, am I max qualified? If they say, no, yeah, you're not. Okay, cool. So what's my debt to income right now? And can we go over payments? Right? Now, your debt to income, I have videos on that as well, so find those. But with the payments, you need to be comfortable, right? Because a lot of times people just get into the whole, I call it Zillow brain, where you're like, well, I need this amount for the purchase price. But wait a second, are you comfortable with the payment? Because that's what you're going to have to deal with every single month. So you need to be comfortable with the payment, right? So you want to have a lender that you can have these conversations with, because let's say your debt to income is low. Sometimes I have conversations with clients where I literally will say, hey, look, I've got you pre-approved for $200,000. Your debt to income's really low. You may want to push up a little bit depending on where they are in the country, because sometimes if you push up a little bit, you may get a house in better condition. Okay. That's not true at all price points or in all places in the country, but sometimes I'll see people ask for so little in comparison to the area, and they can definitely qualify for more. They're just kind of shooting themselves in the foot. So we'll have conversations about that. But that's the key to all of this. No matter what lender you're working with, you need to be having pre-approval conversations about debt to income, payment, what you can qualify for, and rates. Okay. And look, I'm trying to keep this short, but that's why you can have different pre-approvals from different companies. It depends on how they're qualifying you. Now, here's the scary one, because you're like, wait, Jen, that was it? Max qualifying was pretty scary. You told me you could bankrupt me. Yeah, evil lenders can. So here's what's actually scary. So let's say you apply for 250 and company A does 250 and company B does 200. So we had a client recently, I'll just do the story time because I think it's easier. We had a client where we approved them for like 300 and did not like that number. Self-employed buyer, we had reviewed all the documents. You know, we always review documents. Very important. A lot of lenders do not look at your documents, so their pre-approvals are trash because ultimately the underwriter is going to look at your documents. Your whole loan is based on your documents. So I hate drama, which is one of the big reasons we fully underwrite every file and we get your documents. So in this case, we had approved them for like 300. The other people approved them for 450. Okay, what was the difference? Did they have a magical loan program? No. Were they max qualifying them? Yeah, but we were too, okay? Because he'd asked been max qualified. So we went through our whole disclaimer list. But yeah, okay, so wait, how could they max qualify him higher than we could? That's what you guys are wondering, right? What's wrong with Jen? Why couldn't she do it? They never looked at his damn docs, guys. They never looked at his documents. So they gave him a pre-approval and are like, yeah, go shopping. But they never looked at his documents. He's a self-employed buyer. You've got to look at those tax returns. But there's so many lenders that do not look at any documents because they don't care. It's that simple. They want to see if you actually get into contract and if they get your business. And then if you get into contract and you're going to work with them, then they'll work on your file. But before that, they're just going to give you a garbage letter. Okay. And look, you may go, well, wait, why? What company would allow people to do that? Most lenders are commission, right? My team, you know, like, do I get paid if you don't close a loan with us? No, I don't. But I'm still going to make sure, even if you don't work with me, that it's done properly. Because if you do work with me, I want to make sure that the transaction's bulletproof and you have a stress-free experience. But there's a lot of people that have the mentality of like, why would I do all that unless I know I'm going to get paid? Right? So if you have two different pre-approvals, now it could go the other way. You could have one where it's 450 and you could have one where it's 320. I see this with VA all the time. So 425, 325, this one's saying you barely qualify for anything, right? I don't know where you're looking, but, and this other lender, let's say it's me, I'm saying, hey, I can do 425 in my sleep, no problem. This other lender's saying, no, they can't. Does that mean I'm wrong? No, it might mean that they don't know their guidelines, right? Because once again, we're getting all the documents, we're fully underwriting it. But what I see with a VA mortgage quite a lot is people don't understand active duty military pay. So they won't use like BAH, which is crazy. So conventional, you see the same issues where someone may not know guidelines, so they're qualifying someone a lot lower. But the key is, in order to actually know what you qualify for, the lender has to have looked at your documents. There's no way around that, okay? So look, what it says on a pre-approval, even if they've seen their documents, you may be able to go up, you may be able to go down, you may be able to do a myriad of things. But the key is going to be you've got to talk to the lenders and you need to have these conversations with them. Because I hear way too much that someone went with lender XYZ because they qualified them for more. Whereas it's like, well, you could have gone higher, but that's not what you were asking for, right? So conversations are key. I hope this video was helpful. I'm going to link a couple of videos to it that I think will help you guys. I have a full channel. I think there's actually over 1,000 videos now of everything you guys need to be successful. But yes, these are why your pre-approval letters can be different. Thanks for watching, guys.